Hey everybody, Fishlottie here with Fishy Review. Today I've got aquarium number 2 of what you could do with a 20-gallon high aquarium. So it's right back here. It's hard to see when I'm talking, the light being different than what it is, but we'll come up close to this tank and show you what's in there. And in case you want to know what you could put in your 20-gallon tank, this could give you some ideas. So here we go, let's dive right in. This has a few fish in it, not as many as tank number 1, and we'll call this tank number 2. This has some neons in it. There's going to be some more neons. I'll show you those in a minute. And there's a Siamese algae eater hiding in the plants there. Can you see his stripe? There he is. You see his eyeball back there. He's a big fat one. He's not as big as they get. It might get a little too big for this tank. There's a green cory back there. And then there's this other cory. I think what that guy's called. Julie Cory? Julii? And we also have, let's zoom back out, have assassin snails. We'll zoom in on him. So I have to be careful what snails I put in this tank because they will kill them. So these assassin snails are keeping the other snails from going crazy. I've never had assassin snails before these, so I thought I'd give them a try. That guy's on some Anubis, which is a nice hardy low light kind of a plant. There's some crypts in here, and there's this big ball of Java moss, which is really pretty. There is a piece of driftwood under it with that dark area underneath. So of course we got the neons in here, so I like to have driftwood with them. And there's also some brown bristlenose plecos in here somewhere hiding. They don't come out. This tank has a sponge filter, and it also has the Penguin BioWhale 200 filter. It wouldn't need to have both. It's just my redundancy thing here in the fish room. I like to have sponge filters in every tank in case the power goes out. I can power that big air pump that I have very easily, and I don't have to worry about the rest. This tank also has a moss ball in it back there. You can just barely see it. I forgot where that was. This is where it is. And what else we got? This tank has a thin layer of gravel. It's not very thick. It's about 10 pounds of gravel only, so it's a thin layer. Look, you can see here, we've got the assassin snails in here. You can also see the snails that have been assassinated. They, so zoom in on them. There's one. You can see a shell. It's a ram's horn snail. That I threw some of them in here periodically to keep the assassin snails fed because they really prefer to eat snails. So there's 5 or 6 assassin snails. They tend to spend most of their time in the gravel. So it's kind of lucky that we can find one. They burrow in and they look for snails that are under the gravel. They're really good at snail control. Snails don't last in here. So if you don't want to have snails, that's one way to control them. They're kind of slow. If you have a bigger tank than this, you could use, like a clown loach or something, which is really effective against snails. But the assassin snails are nice. So that's about all that's in this tank at the moment. So it's not as many fish as 20-gallon tank number 1, if you saw that video. But down here in the quarantine tank, there are 18 neons waiting to go in there. And this polka dot catfish here, he's hiding back there against back. Isn't he cool? He's so cool. He's going to be fun in that tank. And then I may put something else in there too. But just a peaceful little community tank. And I just want to have a lot of neons in there and these big plants. As a bonus, I'll show you this other 20-gallon tank over here with large angelfish. Look at this guy. Isn't he pretty? Big pearl scale marble. I'll put my finger here. You can see kind of how big he is. He's gotten really big. So he's a pretty one. And this tank really just has a few snails and these 2 angels, which I put in here hoping they were a pair, but in case you can't tell, they're both male. Definitely that one I thought was a female originally, and now it's got that big hump on its head. And I'm sure they're both male. They certainly haven't done any breeding, which I think that would explain why. So that's also a 20-gallon high aquarium, but I use those for angelfish pairs. Not so much anymore. This is the only tank I'm using for it right now. I used to have at least a dozen tanks like that with pairs in them, but don't have so many angels now. So that's the 20-gallon high tank number 2. Ideas for you if you're looking for something to put in your 20-gallon high aquarium. So this is Fish Lottie with Fishy Review signing off. Remember, everybody, stay fishy and have fun. Thanks.